Slave DiBiase.
I haven't been talking at all for the last 15 minutes, man. It's all right, though. It's all right, though. Jesus Christ, man. It's all right, man. But thank y'all for pulling up, man. All my moral support, everybody that might have pulled up. Thank you. Could have been anywhere in the world for your 420 sesh, but you're here with me. Let's start off with this little appetizer right quick, man. Pastor sparks debate after telling congregation paying tithes and offerings to God should come before daycare, groceries, and mortgage if they expect financial blessings.
100. So, man, I got to pay my daycare. They're going to kick my kid out. Here we go. All right. Ooh, also, I need to pay my phone bill because T-Mobile about to cut me off. Grocery. Ooh, I got my kid's hungry. Oh, the Lord. Oh. Here's the Lord. Here's your $100, Lord. Thank you. And then here's my mortgage payment. Now, you say, well, Pastor, that's good. That's not good. Now, see, here's the difference. I'm helping somebody right now because if you just switch the order, you will see some increase come. Most people do what I just did. Watch this. They gave a tenth to the Lord, but they didn't do it first. We gave him a tenth, but this is how you can give a tenth and not give it first. But the scripture says the first one is what? So I done gave my money to somebody, holy money. I done gave it to the phone bill people. And you only give the tenth first to somebody who can bless you. So let me y'all give me my money back. Give me that. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this.
Yeah, hear how hyped he is about that money. Give me my money back. Give me my money back. The boy going down says, ooh, we says, nope. And God only cares about pastors' mortgages and no one else's. That can't be true, right?
Give me this. Thank you. Give me. Thank you very much. Now, this is what should have happened. So who should I give to first? The Lord. Switch places with somebody, Lord. So it don't matter where the Lord is on this. What matters is if whatever comes out first belongs to who?
The Lord.
Okay, so here you go, Lord. And so watch this now. As I begin to pay other things, and let's say now it looks like I'm coming up short, God is obligated at that point to supply all of my need because he's supposed to do that because I've honored him with the first.
How y'all feeling about that one? Yeah, no, that's messed up. My children's bless me every day. That is a fact going down. The pastor is saying before you do anything, he need his money first. This ain't God. I hate it when motherfuckers get up there with the mic and they tell you what God said. You got God number? Because if you got God number, I can bypass talking to you and just talk to God myself. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be able to ask for what I need to ask for a little bit better than you asking for it for me. So if that's the case, if you got God's number, his anything, please pass it down. He said, God said, pay him first, and then anything you come up short on for the rest of the month, he gonna be the one to supply your needs. Yeah, all right. Y'all tell Verizon that shit if y'all want to. Y'all tell the mortgage company that shit if y'all want to. Y'all tell them children that shit if y'all want to when y'all ain't got no groceries in the house. Kids and like, man, mama ain't never got no goddamn money. Yeah, all right. I love the fact that Drewsty got on their ass and it's being put out there for people who might just be sleeping up that this keeps happening to generation after generation after generation. Y'all, you do not need to go to church to get with God. You can find God within yourself and have that personal talk with him. You don't need to give another man your money. Keep your money in your pocket, take care of your family, and love on God. That's all you got to do, man. But that was just a quick little appetizer on that one. My man said, pay us first. Pay me first before you do anything. My man said, pay me first before you do anything. All right, yeah. You try that one if you want to. We ain't on that. But all right, man. Moving right along. They trying to say after this whole, let me see. The best is when he flies up with the kid. I swear to God, man, if I ever went to a church, man, not that I stepped foot in one, but if I ever went to a church, bro, and they were flying from little hanging wires like some Cirque du Soleil type shit, I'm getting up and leaving right then and there. That's not someplace I need to be. I came for church, not Cirque du Soleil. Well, all right, y'all. Have y'all seen this whole situation with allegedly Pooh Shiesty robbing Gucci Mane and making him sign paperwork against his will and things of that nature? Folks are trying to figure out how the hell the cops knew who robbed Gucci Mane unless somebody was doing too much talking. This is crazy to me. So you could stick somebody up and just immediately tell somebody that they're snitching. Let me see. Gucci Mane snitch. I happen to believe if you are a civilian and you are no longer engaging in any sort of criminal activity, whatever you tell the police, it's on you because you're a civilian, right? But these gangster rappers live by these different type of rules to where they can't talk to the police. It's against the rules, and but we'll get into all that. This is by way of, we'll go by way of Chig Smooth, man. We'll go by way of Chig Smooth. Don't forget to get that brother a like, comment, and subscribe, y'all.
Hey man, sometimes some of you Negroes do not deserve money and fame. Somebody please explain to me, how do you blow up in 2020? You make millions. In 2022, you go to prison for 5 years. You get released in 2025. You get lucky enough to get another hit song called First Day Out. And then the very next year in 2026, you throw your entire life away.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch. And I'll see you in Valhalla.
If you guys didn't watch the last video, Pooh Shiesty has been arrested for robbing and kidnapping Gucci Mane. Now, according to the Department of Justice, Pooh Shiesty was not happy with his contract with Gucci. He wanted out. However, the contract terms were not completed. So Pooh Shiesty said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take it to the streets. He called up his pops and 10 other guys to go to Dallas, and they all hopped in a car like it was a basketball tournament.
I'm Ryan Rabel. I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas.
Before we get into any of this, I just want to point out that I did a video on this yesterday, but I'm going to reiterate something. You seen the resume that Chigs just put out, how somebody could have such a hot run, a hot streak in the rap industry, and then go to jail for 5 years, come back out. Normally, now we're not living in a time where you went to jail and you come back out as a rapper and then everybody's buying your shit. once your time is done in today's rap game, once your time is done, your time is done. More than likely, the game gonna pass you by. It's a new star being born every day that we know about / don't know about. So for the fact that you can go to jail for that damn long and come back and make a hit song, but you can't stay out of prison because you decided to take it to the streets. I am convinced that somebody got a boyfriend upstate somewhere that they just are dying to get back to, because why can't you stay your ass out of prison? That's just me. Pooh Shiesty, you just got home and you going right back in. Somebody got a boyfriend somewhere that they trying to get back to. That's just me.
Thank you for coming. This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30.
Lontrell Williams Sr., meaning his daddy was with him?
Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian McDaniel, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on January 10th of this year, 3 music industry professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items.
Okay, so basically it sounded like Pooh Shiesty stuck up the record label. Gucci happened to be there, so he robbed him of everything and all of that. But we gangster rappers. Was there footage? Did somebody tell? Because it sounds like other people were robbed in the room besides Gucci Man. Who told? Is Gucci snitching? Or, these are questions that you have to ask.
One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness. Defendant Wright barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping. The ringleader of the conspiracy, Lontrell Williams Jr., was on home confinement at the time of the offense, as alleged, for a prior firearms conspiracy charge and conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint. And as
plan, the conspiracy, all of this, these federal words, these federal buzzworthy words that they're using, man, it's not looking good for former felons. It's not looking good for convicted felons. All these buzzworthy federal words sounds a lot like somebody's about to go back to jail for a long motherfucking time.
Described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims.
Now, my thing is, during that entire...
Hold on. So these fools robbed them folks and then got online and started showing the shit that they was robbing? Hey, man, take all them to jail. They all stupid. Take all them to jail. And leave them in there. Leave them in there. Leave them niggas in there. And my strongest Charleston white voice ever. Leave them niggas in there. Because that was stupid. You robbed somebody and then put up the jewelry that you robbed from the victims and you showing it off online? What you gonna say in the courtroom? That's not me. All right, man. Stupid. Everybody in such a rush to do something crazy in front of these phones. And I guess it didn't happen if it wasn't recorded. Just stupid.
Entire ride from Memphis to Dallas, nobody on that car said, hey, man, what if there's cameras there? Or, hey, man, what happens if we get caught?
Document outlines some of the evidence, just some, establishing the defendant's roles in the federal offense. This is as follows. Electronic monitoring data placing Williams Jr. at the offense location, which would put him in violation of his home detention conditions. Cell phone records and license plate reader data corroborating the coordinated travel of multiple defendants from Memphis, Tennessee to Dallas.
So it sounded like to me, your phone will get you caught up all day. The location of your phone in proximity to what happened to the victims. If you're going to do something, leave your phone at home, bro. Leave your phone at home.
Rental car records confirming Williams Sr. rented a vehicle that was used by the group. Surveillance footage from the offense location, a nearby office supply store, and a hotel where several of the defendants stayed following the offense. Fingerprint evidence as well that was recovered from the crime scene, matching at least two of the defendants. Social media posts by defendants displaying what appears to be stolen property just in the days following the offense. Greyhound bus records confirming the travel of multiple defendants from Dallas to Memphis the day after the offense.
Now, the most baffling part is Pooh Shiesty. Brother, you just got out of prison. You got the cars, the hoes, everything you could ever possibly imagine. Don't you like vagina? Don't you like titties? Don't you like being able to call up any random female of your choosing?
See, Chiggs is asking the right questions here. Chiggs, I'm gonna have to answer for you, my brother. I don't think he does, because you're doing shit that immediately gets you put back in prison. You trying to get back to somebody. It's 2026. If you're doing some crazy shit out here, you're playing with your nose and you're trying to get back to your boyfriend up north. That's how I'm looking at it. Why can't you stay out of jail if you got everything that you want and need?
At any random point in the day just to come and top you off? What is it about prison and getting locked up and being around men that you guys like so much? Now, a lot of people are coming out and reacting to this news. Lil Woody had a very insightful point. Here's what he said.
Let me understand this, y'all. Please help me. I really need help. Pooh Shiesty did all that time in jail, in the feds. He around people that have unbelievable cases where it show how far the feds willing to go. Pooh Shiesty came home, y'all, and made the first day out, they sent him right back to jail. Pride and ego is our main enemy. That's why I call myself Wooded versus Wooded. I have to fight myself every day to not let these suckers trick me back in jail, to not let these suckers trick me away from my kids and take my life. That young nigga came home, bro, and did NBA YoungBoy numbers. First song he put out, they said he was gonna flop. That young nigga went to the top. He had all the cars, the lifestyle, everything he dreamed of having. But he didn't change his mindset. Look what the boy did. The boy went and did some stupid shit. Caused him to go back to jail. Listen, young man, we our own enemy. The shit stopped when we change our mindset. Man, we ain't got to fake an image no more. We did what these niggas wish they can do.
We don't have to fake an image no more. We done did what these niggas wish they said that they could do. He's saying you don't have to live your life on these records no more if you don't want to. You can stay out of prison. It's cool to just go to the studio and rap and go back home to your family at the end of the day. You do not have to pull a King Von and actually be outside, because where is that going to lead you? You're going to be one or two places.
We ain't got to keep doing it.
You're going to be in jail, or a motherfucker going to send you back to the lobby. If you play Fortnite, you know what I'm talking about.
That's why I say these niggas play the game till they lose. You got to know when to get out of it, bro. You got to know when to say, okay, this is it. Because they all love you. They gas you on. And when they fucking putting fucking handcuffs on you, and you come to the realization that this shit is real.
Yeah, when they put them handcuffs on you, you be sitting there looking stupid, saying to yourself, you know what? I could have just got a lawyer. Yeah, you could have. You could have just got a lawyer.
Now y'all wonder why Woody walk the way he walk and talk the way he talk. Nigga, that the feds are real. That cemetery with all them bodies in there is real. This ain't Grand Theft Auto. This ain't no fucking TV show. This our real lives. And y'all wonder why these white people don't want to see us with no money. Because we do stupid shit with it. You had no business doing that. You folks came out here and led by example.
The chief of snitching, Charleston White, also came out and he had this to say.
Damn, Shiesty. They get your whole man too. What them feds mean is a motherfucker. Take it to daddy too. God damn. Shit. If there's any other time to think about telling, this is
I'm sorry, Charleston White is hilarious to me, man.
it right here. You talking about the kind of federal charges for federal kidnapping? Oh my goodness. Up to a life sentence. Oh man. Whoever these FBI agents is here.
I don't know if the brother gonna get life. I don't know if them cats gonna get life, man. But you definitely, you Pooh Shiesty them definitely finna do about 5. You gonna do at least 5. At least 5. Sorry. It's gonna have to happen because you can't stay your ass out of jail. I keep trying to tell everybody, I don't care what you say, you're trying to get back up north to one of the men's, you know, in there. You trying to go up north and get delivered. You trying to get back up there to one of the men's because you can't stay your ass out of jail, goddamn. That's what it is.
They finna get a promotion. They fucking around being in the lineup to be the FBI director one day for bringing down Shiesty. It sounds like Gucci cooperated. It sounds like the victim. Gucci was a victim.
Okay, so now we have the question. Did Gucci Mane tell exactly who did it? Were there cameras? Were the other people who were in the room that got robbed, were they possibly the ones who let all that information out? We don't know. We don't know. And after seeing everything that happened with that Young Thug situation and how we got all them jail phone calls and we got the case of everybody telling me, yes, ma'am. Is YSL again? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Gucci out there and he was a part of the Yes Ma'am squad. Yes, ma'am. Was those the people who robbed you? Yes, ma'am.
And gave his testimony. Come on over here with me, Gucci. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right to go and be civilian. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, this ain't that ain't yeah. Come on over here with me, Gucci. Press charges on their ass to the full extent of the law.
Now, I told you, Charles the White would tell their ass press charges on their ass. Leave them niggas in there. Y'all are stupid. Pooh Shiesty, you stupid. You came back home and actually had another buzz again to where you could have just did some music and came back up. Instead, rolling all the way 3-4 hours to another state and robbing and kidnapping your record label CEO was the answer. I'm sorry. Keep your you're a menace to society and keep your stupid ass behind bars. Sorry.
Speaking of snitching, 50 Cent is trying to allude that somebody told, and that somebody might be Gucci. He posted this video of the press conference saying, who the fuck is telling? Then he posted this video of Bubba Dub claiming that Gucci Mane told.
Gucci Mane got robbed and didn't tell nobody but the law. I told y'all, man, people who are paying goddamn taxes and law-abiding citizens, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, come on. That shit dead. Robbing people, trying to goddamn extort. That shit dead.
And if anybody...
He not lying. Niggas is grown men. Niggas is grown men now. You put your hands on me, I'm going to call the authorities. And that's if I don't burn your ass down with this legal firearm I own. So, I'm sorry, man. Y'all got to stop playing out there.
Is wondering, there's been documents out there from the actual files claiming that Gucci Mane not only identified what Pooh Shiesty was wearing, but Gucci Mane also identified Big 30 to the feds. Now,
no, I was just in all speculation at this point, but now this is paperwork that's saying Gucci pointed folks out. So he is a part of the Yes Man squad. Yes, ma'am. Is YSL a part of the gang? Yes, ma'am. Were you witness to any sort of ongoing crimes while you were around? Yes, ma'am. Gucci Mane, is that Big 30 over there? Yes, ma'am. Oh, man. He one of the Yes Man boy. This is looking bad for Atlanta, man. For Atlanta to be so gangster in the music and all of that. It's a lot of rats around this bitch, dog. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a civilian and it's disgusting me.
Wack 100 also came out and chimed in. He said, stop assuming about Gucci and talk about what's really on the paperwork. Pooh Shiesty's daddy been a rat since 2009 and his son a mice since 2022.
Jesus.
Now, there's nobody to blame but Pooh Shiesty himself. Unfortunately, the man knew exactly what he was doing. He just thought Gucci wouldn't snitch and he'd be able to get away with it. Now, I've seen people claiming Pooh Shiesty might get life in prison. Maybe he might get 20, 30 years. I'm going to leave that to the legal guys in the comments section. You guys...
Oh, wait. There's a difference between life in prison and 20, 30 years because with as old as Pooh is, like, goddamn 20, 30 years, that's the rest of your life.
Get in the comments below. What do you guys...
Man, y'all tell me how y'all feeling about that one, man. That was by way of Chig Smooth. Y'all felt like maybe Gucci snitched or whatever. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he did. Every time we be like, nah, man, niggas ain't snitch. Niggas stood tall. They're rappers. They're artists at the end of the day. These niggas ain't gangsters. They pay taxes. Just like Chick Smooth said, they go to PTO meetings and shit like that. These niggas is telling. If it means them or you going to prison, no matter how gangster nigga talk on the record, he's telling. I'm telling you, niggas telling. But y'all like, comment, and subscribe on that one, man. Okay, so I heard leaks on the original ideas that they were going to have for Avengers Secret Wars when Jonathan Majors was still King the Conqueror and he was still deemed as the overarching big bad of the multiverse saga. And I happen to have a little ups on it right here, and it's from Cosmic Wonder. Let's take a listen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Cosmic Wonder. He does great work, y'all. Let's see what the original plans for Avengers Secret Wars was going to be. Let's check it out.
Because it sounds like most of what Secret Wars was originally supposed to be has been changed, but some of it has remained the same. One of those parts is Robert Downey Jr. returning. Now, of course, Marvel Studios really changed their plans when they announced that Kang Dynasty was no more, Kang was no longer going to be the villain, and Robert Downey Jr. was going to return as Doctor Doom. But some parts are still going to remain very important, and also some parts Marvel Studios are going to completely get rid of, according to some insiders. So let's not waste any time. Let's go through what the original plans for Secret Wars were supposed to be. We already heard the first part for Kang Dynasty. We did a video on that a while ago, but basically in the original ending of the Kang Dynasty, the Beyonder and Kang had created Battleworld by merging multiple timelines and realities. They are kind of the same person in this film. You might remember some of those old reports stating that there would be a Beyonder Kang. Well, that is reportedly what was going to happen. So he ruled this new realm, Chronopolis, as its supreme leader. The surviving heroes, because there were surviving heroes.
Okay, so you said in the Kang Dynasty, it was supposed to end with a lot of the folks that we love from the OG Avengers group, the Fantastic Four. We were going to have a lot of deaths, and it was going to originally be Immortus, Centurion, and Ramatut, those three Kangs that we saw at the end of Quantumania. They were going to be the big bads of the Kang Dynasty. The Kang the Conqueror that was in Quantumania, Ant-Man Quantumania, he was going to come back with Beyonder powers and make his own universe and rule over it, kill the other Kangs, and then restart everything, wipe everybody's memory. So it's picking up off of right there.
And Avengers, including Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, Deadpool, Wolverine, the Fantastic Four family, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and Miss Marvel are imprisoned by the Beyonder and Kang, who reveals that each of them has a prime variant, the greatest version of themselves in the entire multiverse, with Tom Holland's Spider-Man being the prime Spider-Man destined to defeat Kang. Meanwhile, He Who Remains, so this is a different person, not the same Kang that's ruling, but He Who Remains, a heroic Kang variant, and Doctor Strange rally the heroes in Battleworld to fight the Beyonder and reclaim the Negabands and the 10 Rings. So,
okay. I'm liking the story so far. The prime variant situation, which is basically picking up off of Deadpool and Wolverine, where they were talking about anchor beings, and if the anchor being in your universe dies, then your universe slowly starts to dwindle backwards from the set point in time that which your anchor being dies, your entire universe starts to die. Okay, with that being said, wasn't really feeling that whole anchor being shit. There's no need for it. Y'all still haven't even told us what the Negabands or the 10 Rings are. There's no Shang-Chi 2, but y'all have time to talk about prime variants. Bullshit. I didn't like it. So if they're not using that anymore, I'm so glad about that. But everything else here, I do like the Kang and the Beyonder being the same person, all being played by Jonathan Majors. Although another crazy thing that they could have did was they could have paid a bunch of people to be Kang and then have Jonathan Majors be the main Kang, but they could have had a bunch of people be a Kang variant, and then all of a sudden we see Majors and his variants take over everything. They could have sprinkled several different people, females included, playing Kang the Conqueror over the multiverse saga and then ended with Majors as the prime Kang. That would have been cool, which also would have been a variant of He Who Remains as well. That would have been very, very fire.
Right off the bat, kind of one thing for sure that Marvel Studios has abandoned right here is prime variants or anchor beings. We've actually heard not too long ago from insider Alex Perez from thecosmiccircus.com who stated, yeah, Marvel has abandoned the whole anchor being concept. And I think that's
thank God. Thank you. Thank you. Please, please abandon it. Abandon ship.
Probably for the better. I think there was a way that they could have maybe have used the anchor beings to restore their universes, maybe, because that's what we kind of saw in Deadpool and Wolverine. But we lost the anchor being to Deadpool's universe, Logan, and then they did some things, and all of a sudden the timeline wasn't dying again. So they were going to tie anchor beings in there somehow. It could get,
but because it happened in Deadpool and Wolverine, they can't ignore it at this point, just like they can't ignore the Kang the Conqueror and all of his variants. They can't ignore that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe either. So they're going to have to find a way to either write it out. I don't know, with all these with all these reshoots that they're having, I would hope Marvel would really cash in, and Marvel and Disney have a chance once again to cash in. They could secretly put Jonathan Majors in this movie. They could secretly put Jonathan Majors in this movie against Doom with the heroes caught in the middle, and it would smash the box office. Kang versus Doom with the heroes caught in the middle. Doom kills everybody at the end, including Kang. It would be a quick way to tie that whole situation out, leading right into Secret Wars that totally focuses on Robert Downey Jr.'s God Emperor Doom. They have a chance with reshoots. They could write him right back in the story just to close the loop. Not like just give him a cameo and then, or just see his dead body laying on the ground and RDJ Dr. Doom step over him. Like, they have a chance to write him, a significant amount of time in the movie and it can still make sense. I don't know.
Get kind of messy. I think simply using power sets like the Scarlet Witch and Franklin Richards and maybe Loki to restore the multiverse are the best way to go. But regardless, it seems like the anchor being concept and prime variants are donezo. They're probably just going to focus on the main characters that we've known over time. And then, of course, older legacy characters like the X-Men. But then the second part is the nega bands, or the bangle that Kamala Khan had, and now Kamala Khan and Captain Marvel have one each, and the 10 rings. I'm sure they're not going to ignore these entirely, but before they were very heavily leaning into this being Kang tech. They teased it really heavily. Now they might simply just be weapons. The post-credit scene for Shang-Chi.
Nah. You don't have all that build up, all that mystery just for those to be regular weapons. We don't know what these bangles nor these 10 rings, what they come from, what they are in origin, and you've left it ambiguous to add all of that mystery within it. So that when you finally reveal what they are, how they're made, and what they're actually supposed to be used for. By the way, that little Disney one-shot first look at Dr. Doom that they had in Florida or something like that at one of those attractions, the little hologram that they had Dr. Doom using the 10 rings. So let's not get it twisted. The 10 rings are going to be shown and used in Avengers Doomsday.
In the Legend of the 10 Rings, the rings were sending out a beacon. That beacon was originally supposed to be going to Kang. Could it be going to Doom now? Sure. Could it still be Kang tech? It still could be, because Kang still did exist in the MCU. They're not erasing what happened before. He's just no longer the main villain, and it sounds like really no other Kangs are out there anymore, or He Who Remains, or Victor Timeless, or whoever.
That's if they don't write him back in the story secretly because they think all the fanboys won't bring him back. The fanboys are saying there's no way Marvel or Disney is going to include Jonathan Majors in on anything. He's fired and he's going to stay fired. That might be true. Or somebody might sit down and say, this might be the perfect time to bring this guy back and let's go and get all the money. The only kind of bad publicity Marvel and Disney is no publicity at all. So you hire Jonathan Majors back, but you're afraid of what America might say. Get over it. Once they hear that Kang the Conqueror versus Dr. Doom is going on in Avengers Doomsday, that's more asses in seats. Kang the Conqueror, the Fantastic Four, the OG Avengers, the new Avengers, all these different teams. RDJ back as Dr. Doom. You telling me, come on, don't leave that money out on the table. I'm telling you, I got an early prediction. He might be in this movie. RDJ back as Dr. Doom is a money grab because there's no build-up to him, but there is a build-up to Kang the Conqueror. Like, y'all don't want to mess with him no more. Cool. Use this movie to close out the loop and don't make it a cameo.
It could be Kang Tech. It could be Doom Tech. We'll have to wait and see. This one we're kind of unsure about, but here's where it gets really interesting. And I think fans might have actually really liked this. And I think they did get a page from Multiverse of Madness here. They say, Robert Downey Jr. returns as Superior Iron Man from Earth 818, who conspires to steal the Beyonder's powers for himself. Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson also reprise their roles as variants of Captain America and Black Widow in Battleworld. Pause for a second. I know some people are saying, why would he return as Superior Iron Man as the villain? Well, he's returning as Doom as the villain. And here's the deal. Robert Downey Jr. already stated that it sounds like for at least a year and a half, he was talking with Marvel about returning. Now, at first, when he met with Marvel, I'm sure it just wasn't Doom right away, right? I'm sure they kicked a lot of characters around.
So there was already telltale that he was going to return in Secret Wars after the Kang Dynasty. He was going to return, Robert Downey Jr., was going to return as the Superior Iron Man from Universe 838, which would have closed out the loop on that universe, because if you can remember, the Scarlet Witch dreamwalked into her multiversal variant self from 838, and she killed most of the Illuminati. There was a chair open in the Illuminati panel that was empty, and a lot of folks think it's either a Doom or a Tony Stark Iron Man variant that's supposed to be sitting there. What if it's the Superior Iron Man and he just wasn't there that day? Could be him coming back, Robert Downey Jr. coming back as a evil Iron Man and possibly a good Iron Man in the original plans for Secret Wars. Probably would have been fire. I believe they're going to keep a lot of this. Instead of him coming back as Superior Iron Man, he's going to come back as Dr. Doom, which is cool. But he's also going to come back as a good Iron Man too. It might be a Superior Iron Man that's good. We never know. So, but yeah, he's playing more than just Dr. Doom. I know this much. That's too much money for him to play one character. Too much money.
Superior Iron Man was probably one of those characters they kicked around. And in that moment where Kang was still the main villain, sure, this might have made sense. It might have made more sense than Doom. Because if you're not going to bring Doom in to be the ultimate villain, why bring him in? Right?
True.
But the whole Jonathan Major situation happened, and Marvel Studios reportedly said they were planning to move away from that anyways, which would include why Superior Iron Man's going to be a villain in Secret Wars. But the point is, Robert Downey Jr. had been talking with Marvel for a really long time, over a year, before deciding that Doom was the right person to come back to play, and that he was going to be the villain in Secret Wars instead of Kang now.
Okay, so he was in talks. Robert Downey Jr. was in talks with them for a year, deciding to come back. I'm gonna tell you right now, him coming back as Doom better make sense. I'm completely done with Marvel. It just better make sense. Sorry.
Then Robert Downey Jr. said that he talked to the Russo brothers for over a year, trying to convince them to jump onto the movie. And it wasn't until them and Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely, their whole team, I know only Stephen McFeely's writing this, but their team basically had a breakthrough and they went, okay, that's the story we're going to tell. With what Marvel has given us, Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doom, let's tell this. Or maybe the Russo brothers were even the people who said, hey, let's do Doom, even though it's been reported that Kevin Feige said, hey, what if we brought you back as Doom? But there were talks about that, is my point. So originally, yeah, I think Robert Downey Jr. was coming back no matter what. The same thing with Chris Evans. I think he was coming back no matter what, because I think they had these talks a long time ago about the original version for Secret Wars. So I think Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Robert Downey Jr., I think they've been confirmed to come back for actually a pretty long time now. They finally...
Although Scarlett Johansson is saying she's not coming back, I don't believe it. She's not stupid. It's going to be those two movies, Doomsday and Secret Wars, are going to be the two biggest movies of all time. Two biggest movies of all time, easily. There's no way she's leaving that money out on the table. There's no way she's doing it.
You just have everything together for Avengers Secret Wars, what it is now. Let's continue talking about what it was going to be. Several pre-MCU actors would have returned, including Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Patrick Stewart, Nicolas Cage, Ian McKellen, and Miles Teller. Additionally, Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen from the Spider-Verse were also being considered. Now, we've actually heard about this. Kevin Feige has said we can bring Miles into the MCU after Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out from Sony. So perhaps they were just kind of waiting to see what happens there. But, I mean, everything else kind of checks out based on how it is now, right? Patrick Stewart returning. We've heard that Nicolas Cage is going to return for a cameo. Miles Teller, that's interesting. He might be playing the Maker. It's still in our new version of Secret Wars. We'll have to wait and see.
Hold on. Miles Teller back as the most evil version of Reed Richards, the Maker. So that Fox universe, well, not Fox universe, but well, it might have been a Fox version of the Fantastic Four, where they have Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm. Yeah, he's going to be a variant of that Mr. Fantastic who becomes evil. Miles Teller back as the Maker would smash. Seeing a Council of Reeds in Secret Wars would smash. I'm here for it.
But I don't know. It all kind of lines up a little bit, except for the Superior Iron Man part. It says Superior Iron Man ends up helping stop and kill Beyonder Kang, absorbing his powers. Now, possessing the powers of the Beyonder, Superior Iron Man betrays the Avengers and heroes. Big surprise. This sets up a climactic battle between the Chosen One, the strongest anchor being in the multiverse, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and Superior Iron Man. Now,
this sounds a lot like a move that Doom would do. Doom is always, in the comic books, he's always trying to steal somebody's powers. He's always trying to steal somebody's powers. And if he can get somebody to do his dirty work for him up front, he'll come in on the back end and do the easy part. Even though he's super powerful himself, he's possibly one of, if not the greatest comic book villain of all time. Dr. Doom, that is. But yeah, I could see how they could switch that out with Robert Downey Jr. now as Dr. Doom. They can just have it as a normal Doom move. He's trying to steal somebody's damn powers. I can see that.
Right away, I gotta say, I would have really liked this, because I still really like the idea of Tom Holland Spider-Man seeing Dr. Doom looks exactly like Tony Stark and going, Mr. Stark. We could have had that here too, especially if he's in an Iron Man suit, right? And that might have been even more emotional, because he's still Iron Man in this scenario, right? He's not a completely different character. He's still Tony Stark. He's just kind of an evil version of him. I think that might have been kind of cool to see. And I think the manipulation could have been there as well, saying, hey, you know, I'm a Tony Stark variant. And they're going to say, yeah, he's just like the Tony that we knew, right? Like his heart's got to be in a good place. Like he's got to be a good guy. Bam, switches on him, turns on him. All of a sudden, Spider.
Okay, here's a way for that to actually still happen. What if Doom shows up dressed like Doom, but he does have a variation of the Iron Man suit on? So it's easy for him to trick and manipulate the Fantastic Four and the rest of the Avengers to thinking that he is Tony Stark. What if he uses the fact that he looks like Tony Stark, which I'm sure that's going to be addressed. What if he uses that as his way in to get everybody to go against each other while he steals what he needs to steal to take over the multiverse? That what he's saying here could still happen.
Spider-Man's the one to fight him. I would have liked to see that. but I still like it as Doom, obviously. And it continues, and it basically says that it finishes by saying Spider-Man and the heroes win, but the multiverse is still collapsing, so He Who Remains and the TVA merge all the dying universes into one, including the MCU, the X-Men universe, and the Fantastic Four universe. The result is a soft reboot that establishes a new continuity where mutants have always existed. The Fantastic Four are the first family of heroes, and some MCU heroes are rebooted/recast. The story culminates with He Who Remains policing the new universe.
This can still happen if Marvel just rehires Jonathan Majors. Y'all have a chance to all the money that y'all ever could want. If you just add that Kang the Conqueror, those three Kangs, the Council of Kangs, and He Who Remains, if you add them back into the movie, back into the mix, you have a chance to get all the money. All the money that y'all feel y'all need to pay everybody, you'll make it back tenfold. Marvel, Disney, rehire Jonathan Majors. Hashtag rehire Jonathan Majors. Hashtag bring Kang back.
And He Who Remains is good in this scenario. And this is very interesting because actually another report from Alex Perez a long time ago said that in the original plans for this, for Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars, they were going to realize that they were in a loop, in a big multiversal time loop. So basically, you go to one universe, ultimately it ends up branching out, multiversal war happens, you win the multiversal war, break it down to one universe once again, and it continues. It just repeats, breaks off again, multiversal war, winner, one universe. Breaks off again, multiversal war. It seems like that is how this ends.
It still has the potential to end the exact same way. Again, Marvel, Disney, don't leave that money out there. Don't be scared of the bad publicity. Hire back Jonathan Majors. You hired back James Gunn. Bring him back and bring this story tenfold. You cannot tell this Secret Wars in the way, Doomsday or Secret Wars, you cannot tell this story with the way that y'all set it up without this man, to be honest with you. The Council of Kangs / Kang versus Dr. Doom with the heroes caught in the middle, and it's all on a time clock, a Doomsday time clock. That movie's easily three hours long. And if you want to ride it all the way out and really keep on getting the money, you could do Secret Wars Part 1 and 2 to where either all the Kangs or one of the Kangs is still alive, and it's still war, Secret Wars in this new timeline, in this new universe that Doom puts together. He could still be at war with the Kangs, with the heroes in the middle. There's so many ways you could do it.
Right, the TVA is still there. He Who Remains, a benevolent, a good He Who Remains, kind of looks over the entire thing. And until it happens again, that is, until somebody realizes what is happening and views He Who Remains as bad. Because depending on how you look at Loki, He Who Remains, if the multiverse, if He Who Remains was telling the truth, because I know some people think that he was lying, but if he was telling the truth, he really was stopping the multiversal war and protecting the sacred timeline.
He was telling the truth. He definitely was telling the truth. He just saw. He omitted a lot of things, which can still be considered lying to some people, but he never exactly lied.
So for him to be another, I would say, better version of himself, more benevolent, yeah, it would make sense that this would be how it ends. And then eventually Marvel would dive into the multiverse again. Now it's going to end somewhat in the same way because we know that in Avengers Doomsday, Doom is going to take several timelines and basically put them together and make.
So he's saying Marvel will probably remix and do the multiverse saga over again, maybe in another 10, 20, 30, maybe another 10, 20 years. Maybe about another 10 years, they might try their hand at some more multiverse stuff, right? And they might do it right this time.
Battle World. And then when we end, that'll pretty much be the universe that is the new universe moving forward. So it'll be a combination of all the universes put together. That's going to be the same still. The only difference is basically they decided, hey, let's not go with Superior Iron Man. Let's go with Dr. Doom. And we're just going to get rid of Kang altogether because of what happened with Jonathan Majors. And again, they reported that they were thinking about moving away from Kang anyways, even.
I don't know. I feel like they got a chance to break the bank with this one. We have several months to still do reshoots. Does anybody know Jonathan's agent? Could you possibly give us a whisper if Jonathan's working right now?
Before Quantumania, which I just can't really believe because He Who Remains / Kang was amazing before Quantumania. He had moments of amazingness in Quantumania, like when they showed him obliterating universes, but then they had him defeated by, Hank Pym and ants and everything like that.
That was disgusting, right? And I ain't gonna lie.
They just obliterated them. Granted, he didn't have all his tech, but I think most people agree that movie wasn't handled very well. But regardless, they moved away from Kang. They moved away from Superior Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. is back as Doom. And we're getting somewhat of this script. There are some things that are going to be in the script, but this is what it was going to be before. What do you think about this? Would you have...
I would have enjoyed it. I have full faith that Marvel's going to get this right. But again, you cannot tell the story of Doomsday and or Secret Wars. You saw how many times Cosmic Wonder just mentioned Kang the Conqueror. You're going to have to include him in this movie. You can't just write him off as an off-screen death. That's not going to work. It's not going to work here. You're going to have to show us something. But y'all tell me in the comments how y'all feeling about that one, man. Yeah. Episode 5 of Invincible just dropped a couple of days ago. Brutal, bloody Conquest rematch. Yeah, the Conquest rematch happened the other day. Oh yeah, let's check it out. Hold on, y'all. And this is by way of New Rock Stars. Let's check it out.
Trying to breathe or take a pause in this batshit crazy reality of theirs. The director of this episode actually directed a ton of episodes for the 2017 animated Spider-Man series. Alan has a million photos of his alien cat on his tech thing, which is just like all of us cat owners. This is me and Gina's cat. This is the one-eyed Unopian cat. Unopian is the species that Alan is. The cat's name is Borg, and we saw him back in season 2, episode 3, actually. And like Eve said, yes, they do have 2 buttholes. I like that Eve notices its buttholes once the cat...
Come on, man. They really be trying to with these adult cartoons, man. She was like, did your cat have 2 buttholes? He told me some, yeah, he's fully grown. What?
Directly points it to the heavens in Eve's direction, like all of our cats do. When Eve asks if Nolan actually changed, Alan reminds us very quickly he technically saved Nolan's life first, then Nolan saved him, showing that he has changed in some ways. And I assume he's referring to season 3, episode 4, when Alan and the Battle Beast broke Nolan out of the Viltrumite prison right before Nolan is about to be killed. And when Alan was about to be killed by those same Viltrumites and Nolan break free from his restraints to save him. A ton of pieces crash away during this week's title slam, and as we all know, at the end of this episode, Invincible will also lose a lot of himself too. It will also be pieces of him being crashed away. Damn, I'm not over the ending of this episode. Real quick, I just gotta pop in here real fast and let you know that today's sponsor, Temu, has given us a code. So
Hold up. I don't get paid for that. Nah, the end of this episode got me really on some I can't wait for the next episode. This kind of fighting is what got me into watching Invincible. This is what got me on some I can't wait till the video game comes out later this month type shit.
Conversation that's so important to the plot that the episode makes sure we don't forget about it.
So many people did die, Dad. not just here, but on Thraxa as well.
What I love about this moment is that Nolan has been through so much, especially in the Viltrumite space prison. He's had to sit in his own grief and pain, missing his wife, but no one has forgiven him for what he's actually done. And I'm so happy about that. I don't want anyone forgiving this man so quickly. I never let off that man's neck. If Nolan has 0 haters, it's because I'm dead. Mark's only real options are helping his dad take on the Viltrumites or wait around hoping his dad and the coalition of planets wins so the Viltrumites don't come back to Earth and enslave everyone or just kill them. This episode mainly pulls from issues number 71 and 72 of the comics. In that run, Nolan actually encounters Tech Jacket pretty early on. It's on the way to see Tech Jacket that Alan even questions whether Nolan will plan to see Debbie or not. In the comics, it's also actually Nolan's decision eventually to bring Oliver along on the trip. All's to say, the show strays from the comics a bit here, but it still keeps the core of the story moving in the same direction. Some of these changes are likely for pacing and just emotional depth. A comic can push a lot of plot forward in a single issue, sometimes in just a few pages, but an almost hour-long episode, that needs additional hurdles to make those beats land even harder. So while the order of events or the who does what may shift, the show is still working toward the same major story points. After yelling at his dad, we see Mark has to fly Eve everywhere now since her powers have been on the fritz, and then Nolan shows up to Debbie's house. Yes, Debbie's house. And this scene, Lord have mercy. Play a little bit of it.
You miss me? You know what? I missed you, but you killed the man I loved. You killed him. Ah!
Look, I can't talk too much on this because I'm biased. You know, I
ain't gonna lie. That scene was a little crazy for the mere fact that I guess she never thought she was gonna be able to talk to him again. And it's, you play situations like that over and over again in your head. If you see somebody, what I would have said to him, or if I see them again, I say this. Yeah, now it's that time and you don't know what to say. And then a motherfucker with they dastardly way gonna tell you they miss you. You killed half the damn city talking about I miss you. Crazy motherfucker.
hate Nolan. So I'll say this, I agree with Gina that this is a great speech, but Debbie is not having it. In the comics, the conversation between these two was so short. It was so minuscule. And I love that they gave Debbie a full monologue of pain because incoming rant, I'll say that. 20 years? 20 years and you called me a pet?
He definitely called Debbie a pet. He was like, I mean, like, she cool, but she's more like a pet. I said, damn.
You halfway killed our son, and then you returned to, what, finish the job? And let's not forget about Andressa. You had a child with someone else, and then you got me to raise the child? Stop. You tricked, robbed, and bamboozled me. I can't even. And so you come back, and what do you mean you're sorry? I'd break my hand.
And he pulled up in the crib with no shoes on. Disrespectful.
A million times punching Nolan in the face. As we remember, and I will never forget, when Debbie asked, am I still your pet? This is from when Nolan told Mark that he had fondness for Debbie, but that she was more like a pet. Let's move on before I lose my shit again, because I love Debbie. I love Debbie. She is a single mom, and I love Debbie. A single mom who works 2 jobs. Debbie's a survivor. I will never get off Nolan's neck. I'm sorry. I hate him. I love Debbie. Single moms unite.
Now she hate Omni, man.
Not a single mom. Yet. We're now with The Walking Dead. We saw this guy back in season 3. We also saw him this season. His character's name is probably a nod to the other famous Robert Kirkman property, The Walking Dead. He powers up on electricity, but can also kind of OD on too much, which is what happens here. Then we see Tech Jacket again. We've seen Tech Jacket before. They're basically a Blue Beetle.
Tech Jacket is fire. Listen, this is the female version of Blue Beetle in this universe. That's pretty fire. I like the Tech Jacket character. Can't wait to see what else she can do.
And in the comics, they were a boy. They were named Zach. They swapped them here, and I genuinely love this because Tech Jacket was kind of very boyish in the comics. I like making Tech Jacket just an inquisitive and fun girl. She's voiced by Zoe Deutsch, which makes this even more fun. You know Zoe Deutsch from Zombieland. She's my favorite character in the second movie. Back with our girl, and ooh, Debbie is back to drinking wine again. Another moment that I like that strays from the comics is Nolan insisting on seeing Oliver. We see Nolan almost ignores the fact that Oliver exists for a while, and I don't think that's because he doesn't care about Oliver, but more because he's overwhelmed by everything that's happened. In some ways, it feels like
this is one of those situations, if you're a good parent, well, not even if you're a good parent, you're trying not to think about yourself. You're saying, I don't want to get around the kid because I know I'm such an F up. I don't want to mess them up too. I get it, but every son needs their father, man.
It might be easier for him to just stay out of Oliver's life than step into it, especially when he knows the damage he's caused. And let's be honest, this man has really run a habit of ruining everyone's life that he touches. He brings this also up a bit later on the ship.
I wanted to spare Oliver from me.
The song Clementine plays, and as they enjoy their last supper with everyone, the song has this like safe and protective vibe, almost like a lullaby, but beneath that calm is something very, very, very much sadder. It describes the regrets of past loves and how even the most carefree moments carry quite a weight. It feels like the song is acknowledging that ignorance can feel like bliss in the moment, but that same ignorance can lead to straight doom. And all those feelings are happening while Debbie's worried both her kids are gonna die. Nolan visits Art atop his roof like he used to do, and they're drinking. He's asking about Paul, they talk a little bit about Oliver. It feels nice. Nolan tells Art it was good to see him, and Art does not return the sentiment. He was tense the whole time and terrified that Nolan was gonna kill him. And again, I know I hate this man, but the writers, like myself, are not letting off this man's neck so easily.
I do like that. I mean, that's real world shit. If you came back after you killed half the damn city and you were supposed to have been here to take over, and we found out that that's what you're gonna come back down here and have a beer with me, and I'm just gonna be chilling, man. I'm okay. Of course, I have a beer with you, Superman, because I don't want you to, you know what I'm saying, punch a hole through my face. You feel me?
We'll be reminded how people on Earth will always fear Nolan. This is how I want people to react to like any trace of Loki or Wanda within the MCU. I want everyone to cower in fear when they hear about Wanda having kids or Thor's returning. Does that mean his brother's coming too? Like, I love that everyone in this universe is like, oh, Nolan, the guy that killed 1 million people one day? Keep it in their minds. Mark reminds us the first time he met Eve, which was well back in season 1, episode 2. So yeah, Eve, it was ages ago. Kate and the Immortal are just gone. 2 of your people are in like a different time dimension with the Flaxons, and then Rex is dead. So yeah, a lot has happened since you guys first met. And in a very insane little detail, Debbie drops this little bit.
And the homework April gave him that I made sure he packed. And the homework.
That's an April mention. April is the woman that was working for the GDA that monitored and cared for Oliver. We saw her back during season 2 and season 3. We saw her hiding during the Invincible War, but we don't see much of her again. So she's still working with Oliver. We just don't really see her anymore. We get this very cute little scene with Oliver asking how he's going to breathe in space. And Mark once asked his dad how he was going to breathe in space, and Nolan responded,
That's the neat thing. You don't.
Viltrumites have increased lung capacity, so they can hold their breath while traveling in space for a couple weeks at a time. Then when they need to breathe, they go down to a nearby planet with a breathable atmosphere, take another breath, and then they're good to go again. And we'll see Oliver kind of do that in the middle of the fight at the end of this episode. Mark mentions how Oliver used to idolize Nolan, and this does remind us how season 3 Oliver really did love his father.
Kid Omni-Man is here!
And like Mark criticizes, the O wasn't for Oliver, it was for Kid Omni-Man. A big hurdle for Oliver was realizing that his dad wasn't actually a hero, and that ended up being one of my favorite arcs in the show overall. He's this stubborn kid who's aging very rapidly, trying to figure out the world while learning from an older brother who has absolutely zero patience. As the ship begins to take off, we learn that Cecil and the rest of the GDA were already aware that Nolan had returned to Earth, and they were monitoring the situation. What's interesting here is that now, with the only Viltrumites on Earth being gone, the stakes could swing in either way. It feels like the story will circle back to this, especially since in the comics, Cecil disappears for a while during these next issues. On the ship, there's a small moment between Tech Jacket and Oliver, which makes it feel like they could either become really good friends or even a couple, since they're both technically teenagers, which feels a little weird because Oliver will look 25 in just a couple of years, but it's a cute moment nonetheless. Before the montage on the ship, we learn that everyone will get a communication implant.
Please drop into our medical bay at your leisure for a communication implant.
In season 2, episode 6, when fighting the Immortal, we actually learn that Alan has an implant that allows him to communicate telepathically, and it looks like everyone else will be getting one too. During the montage, we get glimpses of how everyone is handling their 2-week journey. Mark is staring longingly at his phone, probably thinking or just looking at pictures of Eve. Oliver and Tech Jacket are just being kids, and of course, Alan is still banging behind Nolan. We see them eating this purple sludge, and I thought Alan said the ship's food machine could only make ramen, so it must be fixed now? Well, actually, it's not. Nolan remembers Italian food with Debbie, and they took their first vacation together in
Oh, now Nolan crazy. Now he's longing for his pet. That is funny as hell. You killed millions of people, bruh.
Italy. And Debbie looks younger here, but Nolan pretty much looks the same since he ages differently. Tech Jacket's suit actually signals a disturbance before the damn spaceship does, so that suit is in fact very promising. And then we know it's the Viltrumites. Out in space now, Mark only thinks the word Oliver immediately because he can't scream in space. And going through the rest of this battle, everything is through that neural implant, I assume. Except for Tech Jacket, she seems to be communicating through her suit still. This is also Mark's first time seeing Conquest since last season's finale, and yes, he genuinely thought Conquest was dead. Cecil had had kept it completely under wraps that he was alive and had managed to escape. The bald Viltrumite is Lucan, then Conquest, then on the right, I think this is a new Viltrumite we haven't seen before. In the credits, I think he's...
I'm going to tell y'all right now, Mark is going to get crazy on Cecil if he finds out he knew Conquest was still alive.
credited as Crad. The next almost 20 minutes will be an all-out brawl, and this fight, again, is brutal. We see Tech Jacket can hold her own, but it's worth remembering that the last time we saw her take down a Viltrumite, it was the evil Mark, and even then, it was a really, really tough fight. Taking on 3 Viltrumites is a completely different challenge, especially ones who are older and I assume better in combat. We watch Conquest almost pop Oliver's head like a tomato. Luckily, Nolan gets in the way, and I will say, I love the fighting in space because it's so intense, but their thoughts and Tech Jacket's communications are much louder than the muffled space pew-pews and the bone crunching noises because they're in space. It's a little detail that I really like that they did in sound mixing. And finally, honestly, I'm glad Conquest said it. Mark did beat Conquest to a pulp. I will not forget that, but Eve really did most of the work in that fight. I think we all keep forgetting Eve had to unleash her full potential in order for that fight to actually end. Mark starts slamming these elbow to face beat downs, and this is directly the same technique he used in the comics. At this point, we hear Tech Jacket's suit talk, and it's actually LeVar Burton according to the credits, which...
That's crazy. Salute to the OG LeVar Burton for being in the episode, man.
Go off, LeVar. Oliver pulls off this spinning kick straight to the Viltrumite's face. Unlike Mark, Oliver uses his feet a lot in fights, and it's starting to feel a bit like his signature move. There's something almost playful and childlike about it. He actually caught Conquest off guard with a similar kick in last season's finale. These others who show up in armor with guns aren't Viltrumites, and I assume they're slaves, like forced guards for the Viltrumites. Mark then has a standoff with Conquest and asks if he's gonna unload all his feelings again, and Conquest is like,
"That was in confidence."
And as we all should remember, he's referring to last season's speech that Conquest gave that was really dark and also really, really strange.
I am so lonely. No one talks to me. No one wants to be my friend. They think I am unstable.
Right before Conquest can slam into Oliver, Mark intercepts him, and the two smash into this planet fighting for both their lives. Mark keeps choking Conquest, whose moves are now just clearly last-ditch efforts. He grabs Mark and hurls them both through mountains on this foreign planet as they crash through the terrain. The music crescendos into pure doom while the blood vessels and
Mark had his hands around Conquest's neck like the Undertaker in the 90s, and he wasn't letting go. Conquest was giving this dude crazy body shots. Pause. Bam. Man, y'all see.
Conquest's eyes burst from the pressure of being choked. Then Mark bites off his thumb, which I'm sure I cannot show you. I'm sure YouTube will not allow me to show you this, and also I don't really want to show you this. It looks gross. Then Conquest rips...
No, man. This part of the fight was so crazy. Again, it's this type of shit is what made me like the Invincible series anyway.
Through Mark, just like he did Eve. Again, I don't think I can show you guys this, but he is shoving his hand straight through them. It's fucking gross. And also it's gonna give people so much more trauma because it could only remind us of Jeffrey D. Morgan's character on The Walking Dead, killing Glenn. This is the finale all over again. I'm hearing Glenn whimper and die. Again, I'm sure we can't show any of this, but like the comics, it's so brutal and disgusting. Mark's blood is spilling onto Conquest's face.
Yo, Conquest was pulling Mark's insides out. Well, Mark still had him and was still choking the life out of him. He put his hand all the way through Mark's body and started pulling his insides out. It was, I'm watching a cartoon and I'm like, oh, wonderful writing, crazy anime.
And then just like that, he doesn't even get to know that Eve's pregnant. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? The silence and the view of the planet's terrain ripped through by Conquest and Mark is all we see, just exactly like we did in the comics, the trail of their fight and small plumes of smoke wafting in the air. When Nolan and Oliver find them, Mark is barely alive and Conquest is dead. Back with Thetis, we learn that the ship had to
Is Conquest really dead this time?
escape the fight because it was too overwhelming. They would have died if they stayed. But now Thetis has had enough and the coalition is preparing to begin a war, which I assume means bringing out the poison that can kill the Viltrumites. We learn that Tech Jacket and Alan are actually hiding inside that Viltrumite ship. Tech Jacket has this cute moment where she says that she saw this in a movie once, and they said this exactly in the comics as well. And that's where the episode leaves us. It's just like that for...
I love this last episode of Invincible, man. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me how y'all feeling about that. Salute to everybody that pulled up to the sesh today. Oh, man. Fried, died, and laid to the side as usual. Well, man, we had the original plans for Secret Wars, the Gucci Mane snitch, and the reaction to the newest episode of Invincible. Y'all be easy, man. Be easy this weekend. Love on somebody, you know what I'm talking about? Blaze win and stay out the way. It's your boy Slave DBIC, the Offenders Initiative podcast, and we are out.